Was that his review?
Yeah.
Did he say beautiful woman?
Yeah.
I would have been irritated by that.
No, I loved it.
My boyfriend said that.
Or he said she's a pretty girl.
Oh, that's less threatening.
With perfect legs and nice blue eyes.
Yeah, she is gorgeous, and it was interesting because Andrew, Colin, and Anya Marina are here. Welcome to the show. It's You Up with Nikki Glaser, Tuesday morning, New York City. We're doing it.
Puddles.
Squirts.
The Tiny Desk concert. You're right though. Like she did this performance, and Andrew was like, we watched it, and he goes, "It's so." Everything is so orchestrated perfectly. Have you watched the whole thing yet?
No, I have to watch it.
It's fascinating. Like everything she says, every costume change, every move she makes.
Costume change.
I mean, she even says like she takes off her jacket and she's like, "You didn't know there'd be costume changes," but like even that she
and then
had
the
planned.
roll up,
you know what I mean?
the roll up of the arms.
She's
there
just
was, like,
perfect.
3 inches.
I don't
She
even
really
know
is.
that
I
it's...
saw 30 seconds and I was like, damn, she rips on guitar. I thought, she's all those songs are very produced, so the fact that she can do them so easily on guitar and she never looks at her guitar. I mean, that's something I wish I could do that. I've been playing for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
I spend most of my show staring at my guitar neck.
Yeah.
She's just like such a pro.
Don't
just
say that
like,
about your neck.
You don't have a guitar neck.
This is what happens with AJ.
Oh my God, you're so right. It turns into a guitar
Look
neck.
at all these frets.
It has frets. Oh
You got
my
the guitar
God,
neck.
You're so right.
It's like a tree has
Yes.
tree rings.
Welcome to the show. Oh no,
Gary
Gary, it's not
Goldman's
just
here.
you. It's a whole group,
Sorry,
but it's
Gary.
so much more fun with everyone.
The Great Depression.
You're the real guest though. These guys
What are
are
you
here
talking
every
about?
day. No, you guys are like my co-hosts at this point. Let's just be honest. The guest of the hour. I'm sad we only have you an hour, but man, Gary, Gary Goldman is here, by the way. Gary Goldman just walked into the studio. We're in the middle of talking about Taylor Swift, but let's leave that behind because we can always pick that back up. Gary Goldman of The Great Depression, his new, I don't even want to call it a stand-up special. It's like so much more than that. It's a movie. It's a moment. I watched it last night, Gary. I finally was able to sit down and give it the time that it deserved and like the attention it deserved. And it was so good. And it was so exciting that it not only exceeded my expectations, but it just moved me in ways I couldn't have predicted. And The Great Depression, I really recommend you stream it now on HBO, HBO Now, Go, whatever it is. Find it on demand. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
HBO, The Great Depression. Dude,
It opens
so
with that
good.
scene of you hitting this rock bottom.
Yeah.
And it's so captivating.
Oh,
I was
man.
just like watching it this morning going, oh my God, this is brilliant. It opens with you just like having a major episode.
The man who directed it, I don't know what your experience with directors and specials are. They show up the day of and
Yes, that's true.
they tell the cameras where to go. But this man, from the time I met him, he listened to like every set, and then I would send him videos of sets from when I was trying out stuff before I even met him, and he watched that, and he was like, "This is gold." And I didn't know he was going to open the thing with it, but when he did it, I was like, "Wow, I've never seen that before." So that was cool.
It's such a good
I'm
opening.
just bombing in Harvard Square.
I mean, what a way to open
Cambridge.
your special. Just bombing and having it wasn't even bombing. It was just like a real moment. I mean, you weren't getting laughs, but you weren't even trying. Like there was no I think bombing insinuates that you're trying to get laughs and you can't.
Yeah.
You're just
it was just kind of a confessional.
And even when you are in the worst state of depression, like that was like a really bad moment. And you go, "This is a cosmic bottom." You're so eloquent, even in this state of complete.
It's poetic even when he's losing it.
I started writing down, or I started trying to memorize the words that were so. Your word choice always blows me away and it inspires me. But the whole special, it just top to bottom, is so good. I have so many moments I want to talk to you about. God, I mean, where do we begin? Where are you now currently with your depression? Because the special, if you haven't seen it, it takes you through 2 years ago at this point. Was it 2.5 now?
It was that stage thing from the very beginning was I think July of 2017.
Okay, so like a little over 2 years.
A little over 2 years, yeah.
And then it ends with you finding relief from the the long episode you had of like
2.5 years. Yeah.
Like when people say crippling depression, I mean, you had it. It was crippling.
Yeah.
You couldn't function. You couldn't move.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to give away any of the bits, but it's just.
It's okay. They won't remember them by the time they watch
That's a good
them.
point. Just even washing a spoon takes so much effort. I mean.
My dishes were piled up so high.
You can't do anything. I mean, I've had spells like that, but it made me scared, Gary, because like. You talk about having suffered some of these kind of spells before. This one lasted a year. How long did it last for you?
2.5 years, from March of 2015 till October of 2017.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can't believe you made it through. I mean,
I
that
know.
it could have killed you.
Yeah.
So easily could have killed you.
Yeah. I remember Joe List saying, the last time I saw you, I thought was going to be the last time I saw you.
I know. Gary, I
hear
thought that
that?
too.
Yeah. Oh, man.
When I heard that in the thing, I was like, because I remember when you were going through it, I wasn't living in New York, but people were telling me like Gary is going through something, and I was just like thinking about the last time I saw you, being like, and I know that there's nothing I can do from where I am. I know you're not going to pick up the like I've been.
Yeah.
You feel friends feel helpless, like you just feel helpless.
I know.
And
I know.
but it scares me because do you know what did something precipitate? Like what caused it?
It was a number of things, but I think it was chemistry, because I've been in worse positions in every way, like worst financial positions, worst career positions, and was fine. I remember having 3 roommates in my early 40s and having this farmhouse that I had bought for a fiance who moved out, and just being much more positive and engaged in life at that time than I was living in Midtown in this great apartment with a beautiful girlfriend, and I just fell apart. Yeah.
So there was nothing you could point to in your own
No,
life.
I recorded a special that didn't go as well as planned, but none of my specials have really been big before this. Yeah, nobody. Think. So I've dealt with worse.
Yeah.
And there was
Do you
something
remember
that
the day?
went on.
Was it a day? Because I feel like when I get depressed, it just comes on like the flu. Like you kind of get sniffles, and then you're
wow,
like,
that's interesting.
Like you start having the thoughts that creep in of like kill yourself, you're worthless, and I'm just like, I'm getting sick, and I need to whatever I do to like keep it from getting dark. Was there?
I can't say it was a day, but the word dark, just for that whole period. I mean, there just seemed to be literally no physical light in my life. Even on the sunniest days, I just felt in the dark. So yeah.
How did you were doing stand up for a while before you said I'm hanging it up?
Muddling through and
Sleeping
shaking on stage.
6:30 p.m.
Yes.
Going on stage. How did you do that? And what did that look like? I mean, did it look like what the opening of that movie was every time, or were you able to?
No, I think that most people wouldn't have known, except that I was disheveled and that I didn't have time to iron, or I would shower but I wouldn't shave, so I just looked like a wreck.
God.
And and my hands shook a lot from the anxiety. I was so anxious. That's the worst part. That's like brutal.
Do you drink or anything?
No.
So
no.
You just had nothing to kind of help stabilize you or take the edge off?
Yeah, I would take Klonopin sometimes, but at the levels the anxiety was, it really wouldn't put a dent in it. Now, if I feel a little bit anxious, I take a Klonopin, it wipes it right out, or I just breathe deeply for 6 seconds and I'm fine. But back then,
it was so scary because hearing you go through it, like, I mean, I don't know if you got to the part where he does ketamine. He goes and he spends $800 to get injections of ketamine. That's like when you've reached a point, like doctors won't give that to you unless you're like you've exhausted every other resource. And he would go and he would feel good for an hour. It's supposed to last you until your next session, and he would only feel good for 1 hour.
Couple months or something.
I did 5 sessions, and then he was like, "I can't take your money anymore."
But he would only feel good for an hour because he would leave and he would feel instantly bad again. But
how
when
long
he was
is it
there,
supposed to last?
Until you go back again.
But you're
usually.
a very tall man. Yeah.
So maybe
Very
they weren't
tall.
giving you enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're very
Yeah.
tall. It's true. You're like
Yeah.
6'6". What are you?
Yeah, I'm 6'6", around 220, but I don't know that it was the
dose.
The dose. Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
just that is
That must
the-
be so frustrating.
But now I feel like the people are like, why would we want to watch a stand-up special? That sounds like such a bummer. I do inject an hour of humor into
Oh
it.
my
you're
God,
brilliant
it's
and so funny.
funny. It's so funny, and it's not all jokes about depression. You weave in classic Gary Goldman pieces of just wringing out a subject matter for everything. That's the thing about Gary. He uses every piece of the carcass of a joke. Like
thank you.
it's so masterful. I learned so much watching it. I just love. I mean, you're probably arguably my favorite comic.
Oh,
like I
thank
just
you.
it's
I don't want to argue it.
I don't want to argue.
Yeah.
That's why I love you. That's,
Thank you.
I don't want to argue. There's so many.
But that
should've
I told
written
you
down the
this,
jokes, though.
but I wrote down the fact that I was your favorite comedian as one of the things to motivate me and make me feel good.
When you were
on
sad?
sad days, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you're Nikki Glaser's favorite comedian. That's what I.
It's
put
important
in the
to-
notes
Everyone
of-
knows
Make
that
lists.
too.
Yeah, it's so
Everyone in my
nice.
life knows that.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed
I mean,
with your
that's
stand-up.
That's the best thing about this special, like no other special, is that the comedians really like it, and I knew they would because of that opening scene. I knew that would draw them in. They would be like, "That's pretty."
It's
pretty cool."
fantastic. I can't recommend it enough, and I really hope. And I know it's reached so many people, and people are loving it, and it's still spreading. But I think it's so important for people to watch and to share with someone in your life that might be suffering from depression or anxiety, because you just put it all out there, and you say it at the end, but you feel less alone. Like you don't hold anything back. Everything about depression, you actually uncovered things that even when I talk about depression and I think I'm putting it all out there, I'm like, I haven't even stumbled upon that little nugget about depression, which is I loved when you said, because I was depressed as a child too, and as a teen, and then when I found stand-up, I was like, okay, if I get good at this.
Oh, I know.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. If you think if you're depressed, and if you go, if I get good at this thing and I become the best at this thing, the best that I can be, then I won't be sad anymore, because I look at Gary Goldman and I'm like, oh my God, if I could be him, I'll be happy.
Right.
Or whatever, like you were talking about
We don't realize that we are the person that somebody points to and says, if I had that, I would be happy, and
Yeah.
it's no answer. And the most dramatic version of that is I read Bruce Springsteen's autobiography, or actually I listened to it because he reads it, and it's so smart. But he says he couldn't get out of bed in his late 50s
Wow.
from depression, and I was like, and at the time he was Bruce Springsteen.
You're like, I'm going to be great.
Yes, nobody works harder, and nobody is more respected in that field, and he puts out so much energy, and then he went on antidepressants and he felt better, which is like, oh, Prozac is better than being Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Can that be possible?
Oh, I love your bit about the side effects of it. Like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
any argument you have not to take antidepressants, if you're struggling, Gary kind of breaks it down. That is a really poignant part
thank
that
you.
I hope people repeat, and like I want that clipped out for people, because that's such an argument. The side effects, I don't want to get on anything because of the side effects.
Yeah, but the side effects of depression are much worse than
Suicide.
the side effects. Yeah, death.
Yeah.
I'll
Death.
take dry mouth over death.
Yeah.
I'm quoting myself, which is disgusting.
No,
but-
it's not. But
yeah.
you're impotence. Well, I wasn't really fucking on when I was
in the
depressed.
fetal position.
In the fetal position.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Good Lord, it was so good. I love that
Thank
you
you.
make the word apt have 3 syllables.
Oh, it has to. It has to. It's the most aggressive 3-letter word.
Wait,
in the
what was the
dictionary.
guff and the that
Oh.
was one of my favorite moments.
Oh, they give millennials a lot of guff as well as a lot of flack. I don't know which bothers me more, the flack or the guff. But that's one of those things that you do the night of the show, and you're like, look at me riffing on the night of the show, and then you go right back to your act because you feel scared.
It was such a. You have so many of those moments where I don't know, man. It was just a perfect.
And the
it was-
relationship with your mom
Oh,
was
yeah.
beautiful,
Oh.
and with your
lonely
girlfriend
tree.
was beautiful, man. It was
It was all. I mean, Gary wrote a book when he was. How
So
old were
funny.
you?
Second grade, 7. Yeah.
And I froze it so I could read. What
Oh, really?
it was like I could barely make it out, but that it was a lonely tree that got bullied.
Bullied by the animals,
By
in,
the
the
animals in the
forest.
forest.
Yeah,
my
obviously the other trees couldn't really do anything. They could talk a lot of shit, but the animals they tried to eat his roots.
Oh my god.
second
It
grade.
was so beautiful.
That's so dark.
The tree was so sad that it cried, and then its tears made it grow into a big tree. And then it was
And
such
then
a
Gary
beautiful.
really is a big tree.
Gary, I mean, you could make that a book.
That's beautiful.
That's like a beautiful.
You should. Can I write a
kid's book.
song to that? I'll write a children's
I would
song.
love that.
Please.
That would be amazing. You know,
The tree.
Schumer's sister is a social worker or therapist, and she analyzed it years ago. I gave it to her, and she wrote the funniest analysis
Oh,
of it.
she's so funny.
And then my mother just happened to bring it out because the director called her and said, "Could you maybe bring out some photo albums that we could pour through?" And then I pulled out The Lonely Tree, and we shot a lot of stuff because there are 2 sequels to it. And I mean, slapdash cash grabs that I just threw together last minute
Come again?
as a kid.
I thought you meant to the Great Depression. Like, there's more coming.
No,
Slap-
no,
slapdash
to the Lonely
cash
Tree.
Tree.
Yeah, there was Will the Lonely Tree Stay, which was this kind of a quick follow up. Like I sewed the original Lonely Tree. I sewed the pages and made a cloth cover, and
What?
it was really well done. And then this next one was more of a trade paperback version that I just wanted to get out to because I was getting within my family. I was getting such acclaim. For this Christmas book, it was being passed around at the holiday, and then Will the Lonely Tree Stay, and then finally, I mean, this is just classic bad media work. The Lonely Tree Goes to Hollywood. Which
My God.
I mean, it was so pathetic. There was a Harlem Globetrotters cameo because I knew that
Is
would
this true,
excite
or
the
is he
people.
pulling
No,
our
this
leg?
is true. I swear to
I
you.
mean, it's
But
so
this was
funny
all in-
too,
This
Gary,
is so
because
funny.
you're right. Like, I bet your family was like, "This is amazing," because
Yeah.
for a second grader to come up with that narrative, it
Right.
really was impressive. I was like, "Wow, that's a great story." I'm sure your family freaked out and was like, "We've got a talent on our hands."
Yeah.
Not even looking at the true meaning of
Right.
this, which was,
Right.
"I'm the lonely tree, Mom."
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, the documentary footage shows my mom just not being aware,
So
and
cute.
then there's this proof, this smoking gun from my childhood. But also, none of the teachers picked up on it. Nobody picked
No
up on
one.
it. Everybody was so oblivious. They were like, we may have an author in the family.
It reminded me of one time my sister drew a picture of a witch and she brought it to my dad. My dad always tells the story. And she was like, "Dad, look at this witch. Isn't she scary?" And he goes, "Well, not really, Lauren. She's smiling. I mean, that's not that scary to me." And he goes, "Why?" And she goes, "Because she just killed someone." Whoa.
Oh, I love
That
that.
was really good. I was so jealous that wasn't my story. I'm like, that's brilliant.
Oh my gosh!
yeah.
Of course she's smiling.
I know. And my sister used to be fucking crazy. She would like threaten me with knives and stuff. And now she's like a sweet teacher, but she was like really scary as a kid.
She was
She's
the older
younger.
sister? Younger?
And my
And
parents would
bullied you?
leave and she would like she would stand in front of the phone so I couldn't call anyone for help and stand with a butcher knife and be
Oh
like,
my
if you
word.
call yeah, it was terrifying. Terrifying.
Why do you think
never
she
heard
did
these
that?
I don't know, because she's so nice and gentle now. Like, it doesn't fit her. But she would throw things at me. She would kick me. She would
Oh my
like
word!
scratch my face. Like, it was bad.
The
for a
bully
while.
is in the house.
In the house.
And she's younger?
Yeah, and she was younger. And then she it was a whole thing. Then she got super pretty, and then I was just bullied by her beauty for my whole life. Like, it was just a whole thing.
You'd rather the knife.
Yeah. I really would. She was trying to give me plastic surgery early on, fix some things. Gary, so where do we stand now with everything? What's
Well,
how do you feel?
I've never had a sturdier recovery or remission.
Yes.
I mean, there have been times where I've had short little spells where I felt okay, but I'm like thriving, and I think because of my fear of ever getting back there, I'm so much more vigilant and exercise every day and
Yeah.
and get out of the house and do my shows, and write. And I think the most important thing that people and my psychiatrist and I, which this, you dream of things when you come up in comedy. You want to have an HBO special, for instance, but you never dream that you'll be on the Today Show with your psychiatrist. That is something. That is something that I wouldn't have even put on a vision board.
So cool.
And we went on there, and he said something as we left, and I was like, oh, they should have stopped the entire show and fixated on this. But he said, drag your loved ones out of the house if they're not feeling well. Get them out, because that really, when I moved back to my mom's house, which is sort of the second act of the show, when I moved back to my mom's house, I was lucky enough.
That line where you say I moved back there, she just...
Yeah.
What do you go?
Coincidentally, my mom still lived in the house I grew up in.
He goes, I moved back to my childhood bedroom, the same house I grew up in. Yeah. Coincidentally, my mom's living there. It's so good.
Yeah, and
sorry,
oh, thanks.
No,
That's great.
But getting out of the house, moving back home.
But I have this friend who bought his mom's house, and so he lived less than a mile away, and I would go over there almost every night, and we would just sit there and watch baseball, mostly basketball, and a lot of times I wouldn't say a word, and after this all came out, he was like, oh man, I had no idea, but I did notice that you got a little bit better over the weeks, and you were more talkative as the summer went along, and I mean, it was a friendship. We became friends in 5th grade, and this is my cutest story from 5th grade. Okay, so we made plans to trade baseball cards after school, which is adorable. We didn't really know each other, but I was going to go over to his house, and he had this notepad that he had gotten for Christmas, which says, a note from Billy. Now he's Will, as he's grown up, but he was Billy at the time. It said, a note from Billy, and every 15 minutes he would write on the notepad and pass it to me how much time there was until the end of school. Every 15 minutes. And so cute.
Oh my God.
So cute. And we've been friends since we were 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then 36 years later, I went over there every night, and he was, I mean, it was a group effort. My wife Sade, she went to every psychiatrist session and asked questions that I was either afraid to or embarrassed to or just wasn't aware of. She also read this article about how they were using mushrooms to cure depression, and she grew mushrooms in our apartment, which is a felony.
That's love.
But that is love.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Unbelievable.
You're so right about get them out of the house.
Yeah.
How would you recommend doing that when people just don't want to just force them?
Well, the thing I used to do was say, I'll just go out for 10 minutes. I'll just go to the gym and go on that treadmill and walk for 15 minutes. And then before you know it, you're like, well, I could do another 5.
Yes.
And then I could do another 5. It's just not making yourself feel like this is too much. Just the 15-minute rule. Even with writing, that helps a lot, because it's like, I don't want to sit down and write for 3 hours, but I can get around 15 minutes.
Just write in your little book, 15 more, like the note from Billy.
Yes.
15 minutes, increments.
Yes.
That's,
that really works.
Your time, you went to a psych ward, you checked yourself into one.
Yes.
After
how
you
does that
moved in
even
with your mom?
No, before.
Okay.
Before. Yeah, the thing with the psych ward is that I was so afraid of it for years. I should have gone a year and a half earlier, but I was so afraid from all the movies and the
Straight Jack.
book.
You're thinking like a straight jacket.
The Artie Lang book.
Artie Lang wrote a book, and he was talking about, it might not have even been a psych ward, maybe it was just a rehab center, but it sounded like a horror show.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I don't want to go there. And my psychiatrist all along, this is what he would say, come in, we'll take care of you. And then finally, my friend Amy Koppelman said, you've got 4 years left. You have to do this. And so I did it, and it was so ordinary, except for the phone cord to make a phone call home at night. That was the one thing that I thought, wow, I'm really thinking like a comedian, because this is hilarious.
That was another
that
great
the cord
bit.
the cord to the payphone was too short to really kill yourself. Yeah,
You would think they'd have a cordless.
you know, like
Yeah,
why
but you could
even
use
that
that
as
a
a
li-
weapon? I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He goes, when I'm talking to my wife, can I just have a little more cord just to get comfortable? And then you can make it short again when I'm talking to my mom. Sorry to butcher. but it
No,
was
you didn't butcher it at all.
so funny.
You nailed it.
I watched it with my 70-year-old mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My old Jewish mother
my
who
gosh.
like
And by the
is on
way,
oxygen
you have a
now.
lot of this similar
Yeah.
things going on in your life. I mean, he just recently got on Zoloft
Oh, good.
7 months ago at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I feel like it changed your life.
It's helped me a lot.
That's
but,
awesome.
Yeah, but I was watching it with her, and at first, your opening scene, she goes, this is sad, and then throughout the she's like, I just see her laughing and
that's
like
so
connecting with it, and like at first she was just like, I thought this was you know what I mean,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
like she absolutely loved it,
Yeah.
and it was a great moment because she's sick now, and a lot of the stuff you talk about she went
Right.
through, and
Yeah.
it was like a nice bonding experience
so
we
nice.
had in my brother's
Yeah.
bigger home where he's doing way better than me, and it was just a
Yeah.
nice. It was just
So
it was
happy
nice
for
we
him.
could all watch it together.
But I watched Chris Gethard's show with my mom, and I'll tell you that those types of things are really, really helpful at getting a discussion going and
For sure.
and understanding. And those are the best messages that I've gotten is people saying that they showed it to their parent who didn't really understand their illness, and it allowed them to understand it. But I didn't realize that was what
or
was going
understand
on.
their
I
own
was just trying to make it
Yeah,
funny.
Mom and Dad, if you're listening, watch Gary's special so you understand what I've kind of dealt with in my life. Because, I mean, Andrew was actually there when I was having a really bad go of it a couple weeks ago. It was right after the roast, and I was underslept and just...
Of course. Yeah, that's another thing. You really have to pay attention to your sleep. That's a big thing that we take for
I didn't realize
granted,
that was... I'm now on meds because of the spell I had, because I was
Okay.
off them for years and felt good and was meditating and, had little depression here and there. But then I just got hit hard recently. And Andrew was like, I mean, you were in the room alone with me when I was crying on the phone with you
Yeah.
just about like a picture
so
I saw.
sorry.
It was just like it was bad. It was really bad, and there's nothing anyone can say or do, and it doesn't make sense because everything's going great for me.
Yes.
But I went and I got to see my parents, and I usually they've heard me talk about my depression, but they don't understand. And I saw them right after 2 huge tapings, and they just came in and picked me up at the airport, and we just were able to have one meal together because they were driving through town, and they're just like, everything's good. And I'm like, it's not good. I hate my life. I don't want to. And this is what I said, Gary, and that's what I loved what you said about when you've achieved everything you want and you're where you want, and it's still doesn't make you happy.
Right.
Because they're like, look at your career. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's everything I could have ever dreamed of. Like, I literally have everything I've ever wanted, but I'm miserable, and if I don't feel better soon, I'm gonna quit. Like, I
Right.
don't like that. Like,
Yeah.
this is a lot of work to not still feel good. And they
Right.
kind of got it. Like, this time around, they were like, because if you don't suffer with depression, you just don't understand, and you can't expect them to understand. Like, it's a feeling they haven't felt. But I mean, they watched me. I was in a psych ward too when I was 19 for anorexia, but depression too.
Yeah,
Like,
of
it was,
course.
I just was
They're
suicidal.
linked, yeah.
And got put in one against my will and was trying everything to get out of it. But I felt a very I loved you talking about. I kind of, it was relaxing to be in. It was. I felt everyone around me was crazier than me. I remember the painting classes.
Oh, I love
you
the
do
painting.
art.
Oh my god,
It's so cliche, but you really do art.
It was so relaxing. My word.
And and the people you meet in there and the friendships you make, that was a great part of your special too.
I mean, the interesting thing, Nikki, is that when you're at the level that you're at, you feel guilty complaining or saying anything to anybody because they'd kill to be in your position, and it just makes you lonelier. And so but a good friend will listen to you and understand, but you're reluctant because what do you have to be depressed about is still going on. I mean, that was big in the 70s, and it's still going on. We had everything to be happy, and we still weren't. And that's in some ways just as sad as having nothing and being unhappy.
What were your thoughts during that time? Was your brain shut off? Were you just like physically sad, or were your thoughts? What were you telling yourself?
I mean, I had a nonstop critical voice in my head. And I had these ideas for. I remember Googling painless suicide, and Siri, God love you, Siri.
Yeah.
She just gives you the phone number for the hotline. She won't even let you go down that road.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so fantastic.
Oh, you said you voiced this? You
Yeah.
go, Siri, what's a
Yeah.
painless?
Because it's too
Painless
exhausting
suicide.
to type it in.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have the strength to type it
I
in.
can't wash a spoon. Don't expect me to type in.
I love that
painless.
thing where they take your shoelaces when you go into the psych ward. It's like, seriously? I have the energy to macrame a noose. You'll notice these aren't even tied. Can I keep my laces? Makes me feel human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would watch me shower. They would watch
Yes.
me go
Oh
to the
my
bathroom
gosh.
because they were scared that I think it was more about like I would vomit, and I'm like, bitch, I'm not bulimic. I'm better than that. I don't eat. But like they would watch everything in that psych. They take everything, and but sometimes I want to just go back. Like sometimes I feel like there have been times when I've suffered in the past couple of years where I'm like, I mean, there was a moment where I was going to check myself into a place. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's
No.
great. You're safe.
No.
You're
I
safe.
There are
I
think
professionals there.
I think that's an interesting thing that I hope comes from the special is that people will be like, "Oh, Gallman says it's not a bad place."
No.
Yeah,
Yes, I
exactly.
agree.
We need people like that.
And let me tell you something. I'm not one of these guys who can live in squalor. I replace the shower curtain way too often.
Once a year?
No,
Once
every couple of months. It's so
What?
cheap to get the liner
But
to
Gary,
a
what
shower
about the
curtain.
landfill?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
What about bleach? A little
I hadn't-
bleach?
Yeah, all right, I'll bleach it.
How many
Yeah.
fucking shower curtains have you put in a landfill?
Four
That's not a lot.
in the
That's
past
fine.
2 years that I've lived in the year and a half that
Okay,
I've lived
that's
in the
fine. That's
apartment. It's just
acceptable.
any kind of soap scum buildup. I
It
can't.
is disgusting.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's a thing about.
It's a real bummer.
Yeah.
But you were talking about this too, like when you're doing laundry, like you just like you're like Andrew did laundry yesterday, and it's taken him for. I asked him like what his room looks like right now because I had
It looked like
I thought you were a little
bomb went
depressed,
off.
and
Yeah.
the description you gave me of your room indicated, you're going through a.
There was
thing.
piles upon piles, and my room's not big enough to hide a pile.
Right.
You know, I don't have a
No.
walk-in closet to hide a pile.
I know what that's like. Yeah, but the sad thing is that also contributes to feeling claustrophobic and
Once I cleaned
sad.
it, I felt
Yeah.
so much better.
But again,
And
say I'm just going to pick up for 15 minutes.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
though I have 3 hours of picking up to do, if you do 15 minutes, it feels
that's what
What
I
do you
did. I,
think,
bro-
say
I broke it up.
Five. Okay,
Yeah.
five.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like even 15, I'm like,
Yeah.
6-minute
All right,
abs.
5 minutes.
5.
Yeah.
No, but you can
Yeah,
do so
just-
much so quickly when it comes to cleaning your room. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
It really is.
As a
And it's-
Starting is the
39-year-old
hardest
man,
part.
yeah, it really
Yeah.
is.
It's
Yeah.
And but it felt good. And it's funny though. You do the chore, you do it, and then I ruined 2 pairs of pants. I think in the dryer.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
brand new pants.
Oh.
And then
Shrunk 'em?
they just they're stretch pants, so they wrinkled so
Oh.
much to the point where I don't even know if I can iron them out. And then I actually
Well, you can't, but maybe a dry cleaner.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we could handle it.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, and then I put in you wait so long, and so I put in all the colors and the whites together.
Oh, no.
And I
And
put
you
them
put
all
it on
together.
hot?
I did. I put it on hot, and then I couldn't open the door because it's downstairs in my apartment.
So
it's
your
like
new white shirts.
so all my white shirt, and I'm
Andrew.
freaking out, and I'm like, it's fine. If I lose it, I lose it.
Just ask me so you know from now on. When do you put your clothes in hot? Just ask me.
No, I know
When? Ask me when.
When do you put in your
Never.
Yeah, just
I don't
cold.
Never.
either. I don't
It's
either.
true.
I always go cold, and
true.
right when I hit it, it was like slow motion. It felt like a movie. And I hit hot. I go, and then I go to open it, and the door's locked. I'm like,
Why do they lock those doors?
because they don't want the water to come all the way
Oh,
out.
of
get it.
course. Oh, yes.
Oh,
It's over.
So I went for a walk. I went to get Zoloft, and I'm like, whatever. I lost a white shirt. I was wearing
Yeah.
this one. I'm big into white shirts right now. Anyway, so and then I get back. No. It was good. It was good. Apparently,
wow.
the water wasn't hot enough.
Oh, my gosh.
Which
Thank
makes me
God.
question, the hotness
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
water.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I put on the clothes away in my dresser, and this morning my dresser wouldn't open, and because I don't. It's hard to explain how my dresser is, but like the bottom has caved in, so I can't open it.
No, I understand
And
that.
I go to open it, and the whole door has ripped off. So that's on the side. So
And you'll fix that and never.
Yeah.
Never.
That will be
Never.
a cool thing in my room.
No,
now.
I relate so much. Like,
But when you do the thing, when you finally do the thing, and then
Yeah.
like there's so many like little things
Right.
that kick you in the dick, you know, and
Yes.
it's like, well,
Yes.
why did I?
Yeah.
Should I have even done it? But
Yeah.
of course you should. But
Yeah.
it's just like it's always funny when you try to do a chore and it just like just keeps kicking
It
you.
just
in the-
creates
yeah.
another 10
But it
chores.
doesn't have to be the dick. It could also be the
pussy.
vagina. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
That's my new character, Nikki. Have you seen my new character? Comedian who's so conscious of being inclusive that it just becomes distracting.
And my dick, it was a
Becomes-
metaphor. It wasn't.
He's interrupting people. He's just.
Kicked you in the proverbial vagina.
What happened was before he came on stage, somebody said, "You really got to be careful about what you say," and then this is now his act, covering up whenever he says.
I mean, there
anything.
are fucking guys like that now.
Yes. They
I
live
love
in
you, Gary Goldman. I'm so
Greenpoint.
excited.
Oh,
you're,
I love
You're
you.
here for another segment. I'm
Okay.
hoping.
Yes.
But
yes.
we got to go to break. But
Okay.
I can't say it enough. Gary Goldman, The Great Depression. It's on HBO. Stream it. Watch it on demand. Show it to your friends. Show it to anyone in your life that's suffering with depression. And just even if you're not, just watch it so you can understand. And it's so funny. It's so funny. It's just everything that you need. I loved it so much. I couldn't say enough nice things about it. Gary Goldman, Anya Marina, Andrew Collin are here. Guys, do you have mood swings, muscle aches? You feel like menopause symptoms are getting in your way? Well, that's why you need Equel, the plant-based menopause relief formula that helps to reduce the frequency of hot flashes, provide mood support, and relieve muscle discomfort associated with menopause. Equel, made with the naturally derived S-Equal, contains no hormones, requires no prescription, and has no side effects. It's easy. You order at equel.com, and they ship directly to you. Equel is safe and effective and trusted by over 50,000 women. Shipping is free, and you can cancel at any time. Move on from mood swings and forget the hot flashes. It's time to feel like yourself again. Get 25% off your first month's supply at equel.com/Nikki, spelled EQUELLE.com/Nikki. Go right now to equel.com/Nikki for 25% off your first month's supply. Plus, Equel is backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee. Equel.com/Nikki. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. We'll be back with more You Up with Nikki Glaser after this. What actually makes a better toothbrush? Industrial strength power, claims of miracle trendy ingredients, multiple modes? No. If you ask your dentist, they'll tell you it's less about the brush and it's just more about how you use it. That's why I love Quip, because Quip has, it times out to 2 minutes, so you have to brush for 2 minutes. I mean, you can shut it off early, but then you'll feel bad about yourself all day. You're not brushing your teeth for 2 minutes. I just know you're not. I thought I was. You're not until you get a Quip. It keeps you on point. It keeps your brushing habits healthy, and I love Quip, and I swear to God, after using Quip for a year, I went to the dentist thinking I was going to have cavities like I do every time I go to the dentist, no matter what I do about my oral health, and I didn't have cavities this time, and I think it's because I brushed for an extra minute and a half than I had been. So get Quip. It's the coolest looking toothbrush you're ever going to own. It's powerful. It's just as powerful as those ones with the charging station and the ones you spend hundreds of dollars on. This is going to start you at $25. You go to getquip.com/Nikki. Getquip.com/Nikki. Starting at just $25, you get your toothbrush. And then they're going to send you a refill brush head every 3 months. So as soon as your brush head gives out, they're going to a new one's going to show up in the mail for very cheap. I think it's like $5 every 3 months. But you're going to get your first refill back for free if you go to getquip.com/Nikki. Getquip.com/Nikki. That's your first refill for free at getquip.com/Nikki. Just get Quip already, okay? I've been talking about it for years. Getquip.com/Nikki. And we're back. It's You Up with Nikki Glaser, Andrew Collin, Anya Marina in studio, and from his hit HBO comedy special, The Great Depression, Gary Goldman is here as well. Another thing I learned about you, Gary, that I wanted to talk about, because you didn't go into depth on it on the special, but you teased it several times, and I'm like, does Gary love arts and crafts?
Oh my word!
What is going on?
I'm such a contradiction, Nikki. I'm this big athletic guy.
Yeah.
But oh man, I love to. Right now, my medium, because it's October, is gourd. I've been like. you shouldn't give me enough money to buy pumpkins willy-nilly because I'm going to... have you seen what they're doing with Jacks of the Lantern these days?
Oh my God.
Right? It's not
What?
just like, okay, we
Oh,
grew
it's
up...
complicated.
It was 3 triangles.
Yeah, the
and that was
teeth.
the top of your head. And then
Yeah.
why must every jack-o'-lantern have tooth decay? Why can't this is a great ad for Quip, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. These Jacks of the Lantern need I want people at home to be saying, why does he keep saying Jack of the Lantern?
Yeah.
Is somebody going to point out that he's saying Jack of the Lantern?
It's
Okay, so
Jack-o'-lantern. What
so
does that
you can
mean?
put like Nightmare Before Christmas scene on a
Yes.
pumpkin, on a huge
Have you
pumpkin.
done that?
Not, I'm working up to it, but I'm certainly not making 2 triangles and a triangle nose. You can't mix up the nose.
why do you love arts and crafts? Where did this start for you? What is your
That's it.
favorite?
Oh, I love to collage.
Oh, your reference to collage.
Oh my word, do I love to collage.
Yeah.
And
Like a vision board?
yeah, well, I started off with vision boards, and now I just make fun things. Like I take my old basketball cards and I put them on a basketball. Like I glue them to a basketball, which
Wait,
is kind
what
of
do you
a neat
use to glue them to a?
Gorilla Glue.
Okay,
Yeah.
but is that a decoupage?
I don't know.
Do you
I
know
don't
what? You know what
decoupage.
decoupage?
No.
You don't know, but you've heard of it before.
Come
Yeah,
over
I've
to
heard it relate. I've heard people call what I'm doing decoupage, but I don't actually know what decoupage means.
That was a word that I tried to give Andrew to put into his act.
Slick sheen of Mod Podge?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what decoupage is.
Oh,
like
all right.
topping it with
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have decorated a basketball with
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, with all these like 1970s basketball cards
And then
that
what do you
that
do
I
with
had.
it? You just
and then
play
I just
basketball.
no, I just display it.
Yeah.
And nobody really wants to see it. Like I have one vision board that predicts a lot of success, and also a really weird thing that I put the word friend next to a picture of my all-time favorite comedian, Chris Elliott,
yeah.
and now we're friends.
Whoa.
It works.
It worked.
Do you know there's a man in The Secret movie? Did you ever watch The Secret?
No, but I read the book.
Me too.
Yeah.
The movie's cool. It's free on YouTube. I've watched it a lot.
Oh,
I
wow.
watched it like 20 times and then I got a record deal years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and one of the men in it talks about how he was making a vision board and, he put all this stuff, wife, house, blah, 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 blah. Forgot about it, put it in his basement. Years later, he's like a multimillionaire and he pulls out the vision board and the house in the vision board is his house.
What?
The exact home. He bought it. He
My
didn't
word.
realize that when he cut it out. It was like a picture of a Hollywood Hills home. He bought the house.
That's
unknowingly,
incredible.
That
unwitting.
is frightening.
Yeah.
So you put friend next to Chris, and how
Yeah.
did you guys become friends?
Well, the opening of the comedy part of the special, I became much friendlier with the director because he saw Chris Elliott on a vision board and he said, "You like Chris Elliott? I'm obsessed with him." And we just started doing these. I would work in like scenes from the show while I was touring it so that he would listen to it and be like, oh, I would just wanted to make him laugh. And I started off this set by saying to the audience, "You came, you actually came," which is a line from an episode where Chris Elliott, who was a 30-year-old paperboy living with his parents, tried to rehabilitate a neighborhood gang of youths. And he put up all these flyers around the neighborhood to get the gang to come.
What show? What are you
It
talking
was called
about?
Get a Life.
Okay.
And
yeah.
It was when Fox first started in
I remember
1989 or 90 maybe. And then the kids show up and he says, "You came, you actually came." And so we wrote an email to Chris Elliott asking him if we could use that in
Amazing.
the special. And he wrote back like that day and was really nice about it. He said, "Of course, I don't even remember it." and yes, use it. And I'm flattered. And then we sent him the video to show where we used it. And he called me. He told me I could call him anytime. And so I called him that day. And he talked to me and he was so nice and so complimentary about the video, and it was the greatest thing that's happened from this. And I actually, Sade says it's like we got to make a wish from
Yes.
this. Like I went to his house and slept over one night, and
What?
yeah, in Maine, he barbecued. He picked me up at the airport. It's been incredible. So So the vision board is one of my things that got me into the collage. But it's interesting because I'm so anti-gun. I'm in favor of really strict gun control. But I my glue gun from my cold dead hand, it just makes everything go by so fast. I used to.
That's what the NRA says too.
Oh wow. Did Bonnie McFarlane just show up? That is,
I know,
that
right?
is such a Bonnie
Hey,
take.
you know,
You're
I'm from Canada, so.
Oh my gosh, you
She
do a
does
great
Bonnie.
You do a great Bonnie.
We do.
I could listen to you and Nikki imitate people we know and love
great
all day
Bonnie.
long. Oh my
Gary, you're great, Gary. It's just very like this.
Yeah.
You guys.
I don't know.
It's so good.
Oh, shut up.
Anya, do you make vision boards on the regular?
No,
Like, what do you do from The Secret now?
I've made a vision. I've written out a vision board, and this is a little embarrassing. I talked about this on the show before. In 2010, I was living in Portland, Oregon, bizarrely depressed, kind of at a peak.
Well,
I
it
thought
rains every day there. How could
that's
you?
true, but I'm Russian and
Okay.
Russian Jew, so I feel
You're
at
a
home.
Russian Jew too?
I mean,
I
my
am as
people
well.
are. My mother's
Yeah.
line is, but
my father, his mother came over from Russia, and he was born in an asylum,
wow.
a mental institution, because
Oh, no.
she was. Yeah, I mean, they
I
didn't
know
even know
it's-
how to treat
Oh, Jesus.
anything back then.
Oh my God.
So it's
Yeah.
in
It's
your
in
blood.
your blood.
My blood.
Yeah,
Yes.
sadness and like
Yeah.
D minor song. Any song in D minor is like in my blood. So I was in
That's so
Portland.
interesting.
I was living in a house I had bought with my money that I had earned from like a big license. I got a song in the Twilight movie.
Wow.
So I should have been quite happy. I was making a record up there. I kind of had everything I wanted in a way, but I was sad. And I actually loved the weather, but I was sitting in my house and I remember making this list. Like, I just was finding myself home every day with like a rotisserie chicken that I'd bought from Whole Foods, all alone with like cabbage and this chicken. And then I just watch Real Housewives at 5 and like go to bed. I just like eat that and try and make it last.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this sucks. And I wrote on a piece of binder paper, like, I want to be, wouldn't it be great in 5 years if I were? And then I wrote like living in a city where I was part of the cultural conversation. Like I would be going out to see like Noah Baumbach films or comedy, or like I'd be friends with people like Morgan. I wrote Morgan Murphy and Dave Attell. I
No
think.
way.
Yeah, and I didn't know I had met Dave once when I was like in my 20s, but I didn't know these people. And I was like, going to plays, playing interesting places in like Greenwich Village or something, and like I think 3 years later, I was living with Nikki Glaser in New York City. Like I had somehow met Morgan Murphy. I know David Tell now. Like
Wow.
it was a weird, kind of embarrassing thing to admit. Writing that, like, why would I want to be friends with these particular people? Of course, they're interesting, but like, I just saw myself as I'm in the wrong place and time, and I'm doing the wrong things. I should be somewhere else.
Wow.
Do you think though that there are people? Because I think about this too. I'm like, when I was in high school, I was like, I'm gonna meet Dave Matthews someday. It's my only goal in life.
Yeah.
And my friends used to scoff and be like, "No, how would you ever do that?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna be famous, and then I'll get to meet him. Like that's what will happen. That's the only way I know. I don't feel like I can get backstage tickets any other way than to be famous." And so I made it happen. I met him, and I'm also
my
like.
word.
But aren't there times that people say these things and it doesn't happen? I mean, like, are we just looking at examples of when it does? Do you ever think that, like, does
Well-
it really work to manifest, or do people manifest all the time and then those things? Were there anything on your list that didn't happen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably. But when I do this every day now, like I do, it's called like a 5-minute journal. So every day I'll write like, if I knew for certain that my heart's deepest desires were on their way, how would I feel and how would I behave?
Wow.
And then I think, well, what are my heart's deepest desires? And it changes all the time, of
Whoa,
course. But like,
that's good.
yeah, and
Can
10 years
you
ago, I
share that with me?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'll
I
share
want
it with
that
do that.
too.
5 minutes. I mean, that's
And
less
what a
than
great way to
15.
start. And
Yes.
because already I was just thinking that I'm like, put me in.
Yes. It puts you in a different frame of mind.
Yes.
Like, it made my
I
spine
collated a
straighten.
list of different. There's a book called 5 Minute Journal, and I think it says like list like what would make today great, and like what you're grateful for, 3 things you're grateful for, and then an affirmation, and then you go
Yeah.
on with your day. But I researched a bunch of different stuff from different books I read. One thing I love that a bunch of these successful people do a lot is be the source of what you wish to experience. So then you write, I want blank. Like, what do you wish to experience? For example, let's say I'm broke. I want more money.
Right.
How can I be the source of blank, more money, to others?
Oh, wow.
And then I think, I don't know, I guess I could like tip the waitress 25% instead of 15 or 20,
Yeah.
even though I'm broke. So you start doing that regularly, or you know, you give a panhandler some money or
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
or you donate to a charity,
I
and
love
then
that.
you start to become the source of what you wish to
Yeah.
experience. So it changes your vibe from lack to abundance in a way,
Wow.
or
love
belief
that.
in yourself that you could achieve that.
But say it again, what you start with the
Okay.
journal.
If I knew for certain that all of my dreams or my heart's deepest desires were on their way, how would I feel and how would I behave? And I would usually write like, oh, I'd feel excited, I'd feel
Yeah.
worthy, I'd feel hopeful, I'd feel relaxed. How would
Yeah.
I behave? I'd probably do the next right action and let go of the results. Like, I'm going to take a shower, exercise. I'll write that email I'm supposed to write. I will practice guitar for 10 minutes and then let go of the results.
Wow.
You know?
That's so good.
So healthy.
I want to be friends with Jennifer Aniston, and literally every picture of her has the word friend next to it. I just have to cross out the S. I just realized. So that'll be an easy collage. I don't have to find the word friend somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised if she knows who you are.
She definitely
already.
knows who you
Really,
are.
I think she might, but like I
Yeah.
want to
It's
be.
gonna
I want a
happen.
Chris Elliott situation with her, and that's my only goal that I kind of haven't achieved yet. Of
Right.
like where because you start making these, you have these things happen, and you go, well, now what do I have to live for? After I met Dave Matthews, I went into a depression because I was like, that was like a thing that I
Yeah.
was looking to achieve for a
Wow,
really
that's
long time,
interesting.
and then I fell into kind of like, well, what's the point of doing this anymore? And then
Yes.
I found other ones, then I was like, oh, I want to be on Howard Stern. And then I got to do that. And I'm like, oh, well, now,
I will say that, like, I was thinking of what Mark Twain said. If you want to cheer yourself up, cheer somebody else up.
Yes.
I will
yeah.
say that trying to help the younger comedians get work and things like that, that's a lot more satisfying than at this point getting I mean, I love doing Conan, but I'm really excited when I recommend somebody who gets on Conan. That makes me happier than
Yes.
getting my own.
Yeah, they say you can't be
Conan.
depressed when you're helping someone else.
Yeah.
You can't be
I mean, you
in your-
can. I did New
That's
York
true.
Cares while I was sick because, I mean, the one fun thing I will say was I could barely get out of the house. But Sade and I decorated a school for Halloween one year. Like, we volunteered. It was so many of us, and there were so many decorations, and it was so fun thinking about, oh, these kids are going to go crazy when they come into school tomorrow. But then I went right back to. So I guess while I was doing that, while I was stringing
Wow.
up the web, I felt okay, and then
Yeah.
afterwards I went home and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm depressed again.
yeah.
but like in the moment.
yeah, in the moment you can't be depressed.
But then when you're depressed, that's the last thing you want to do is
Yeah.
help someone else.
Yeah.
But if you could just do it for 5 minutes, you're right. It does put you in
Yeah.
a different frame of mind.
It's true.
Gary Goldman, we've learned so much. You have to go. I'm so sad.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, like,
Now I'm
I
depressed.
just love your specials so much.
No,
the
but we
Great
could do this
Depression.
regularly. Can I be a regular?
Please,
right.
literally
Yeah.
anytime you want to
Okay.
come on the show.
All right.
I don't even bother people. I always feel, because sometimes people be like, can I do your show? And I'm like, I don't want to bother you, but
Yeah.
like,
Would it be okay if I
anytime.
brought Sade? Sade would
Yes,
be an interesting
of
guest. She's so
course.
smart. and-
Yes, I loved
yeah.
her in the film too.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
of
she was
course.
terrific, yeah.
So next appearance, Gary Goldman
Okay.
and Sade.
All right,
his
awesome.
wife.
But not the Sade.
Not
I
the,
love that you
oh my
said
god, my Sade is how you said it. That was so
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
was
thank
incredible in it too, and she
Oh,
looked so
thanks.
good. I mean, like, it was, and so did you. I mean, the whole thing. Go watch The Great Depression. Watch it tonight. Stream it, HBO Go, HBO Now, whatever you have. It's on there. Gary Goldman, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Collin is here. Anya Marina will be here when we get back. When you're selling online, getting your orders out can be a real pain, and that's why you need ShipStation. ShipStation.com is the fastest, easiest, and most efficient way to manage and ship your orders. ShipStation helps you get orders out quickly, save money, and keeps your customers happy. No matter where you're selling, ShipStation brings all your orders into one simple interface, making them really easy to manage from any device, even your cell phone. ShipStation is going to recommend the best shipping carrier for each order based on your specific needs at the lowest rates available. You can compare and rates across all the top carriers, including UPS, FedEx, USPS, and always know that you're getting the best deal. No wonder ShipStation is the #1 choice of online sellers. With ShipStation, you'll ship more in less time with the best rates available. Right now, try ShipStation for free for 60 days by using offer code COMEDY. There's no credit card required to try it out, so why wait? Go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in COMEDY. That's ShipStation.com, enter COMEDY. ShipStation, make ship happen. We'll be back with more You Up after this. There's nobody on the planet like you, so why would you buy a generic mattress built for everyone else? Helix Sleep built a sleep quiz that takes 2 minutes to complete, and they use the answers to match your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress. Whether you're a side sleeper, a hot sleeper, like a plush or a firm bed, with Helix, there's no more guessing and no more compromising on an average mattress. Go to helixsleep.com/Nikki, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they're going to match you to a mattress that will give you the best sleep of your goddamn life. Helix Sleep was even awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2019 by GQ and Wired magazine. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try out your mattress for 100 nights risk-free. Helix mattresses are shipped right to your door completely free, and they'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. Right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders. Get up to $200 off at helixsleep.com/Nikki. helixsleep.com/Nikki. And we're back at You Up with Nikki Glaser. Gary Goldman's gone, but Andrew Collin and Anya Marina are still here. How's it going, guys?
I'm good.
I feel great. That was inspiring. He's great.
Yeah, he is so great.
Oh, you know what? We
so
didn't
funny.
talk about his tips. I love all his Gary Goldman tips.
They just make me feel bad because I'm not doing any of them.
Oh, the writing tips? They've
Yeah.
helped me with my songwriting.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
I should have
great.
mentioned that, but
There's just
I'm saying
too
it
many
now.
things to do to be a better person, and I'm overwhelmed by all of them. I often feel like it's when I go to try to find a new book to read, and I go to a bookstore, and there's too many choices, and I don't do any of it. So, like, self-improvement, it's like work out, get facials, get write every day. Like, it's just I can't do any, like, it's just too many things that I need to do.
Sometimes no action is the best action.
What does that mean?
Sometimes a nap is the best self-care,
Yeah.
rather than reading 10 self-help books or just taking a break.
I know it's just like I don't know anymore. I'm just tired of skincare. I got to be honest with you. Everyone has a new solution. Everyone has the new thing that you need to be putting on your face, and it's like my cabinet cannot support it anymore. It is there. All the shelves are stocked. Every single thing is something I have been recommended by a facialist who like swears by it. Nothing works. Okay, nothing works. And now my friend is like, now you need to get the hair off your face lasered because what you think are zits are actually ingrown hairs, and it fucking checks out, dude. Look into it, ladies. If you have zits that don't even act like zits and they're just like blemishes that show up, I have one right here that has not gone away for so long, and one up here that won't go away, and I think they're ingrown hairs.
Wow.
Because they don't behave like they don't have like a whitehead. They just are infected bumps that will not go away with any acne treatment. They're not hormonal. They just spring up. And I think as you get older, you have hairs springing out of your face in weird places, and they're ingrown hairs. So now I'm going to go get my face lasered, all the hair laser off my face,
Okay.
except my eyebrows. I'm going to keep those for now.
You sure?
Keep your mustache too. I like
Keep
it.
your
Why?
eyelashes.
It's pretty.
Are you getting your
Really?
eyelashes removed?
Oh my God, I
I'm
was
joking.
No, my eyelashes I'll
You
keep
don't
too.
have a mustache.
I do though. I'm feeling it right now.
Really?
It's like a thick mustache.
I felt powerful that I might be able to influence you to keep it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was just like,
You
should
should
I?
darken it.
You like it?
Why don't
Yeah,
you darken
dye
it?
it.
Yeah, dye it.
My
Wow.
eyebrow
Mom used to
place.
say, your hair on your legs is blonde and it's so beautiful. Don't shave
Aw,
your
that's
legs.
sweet.
Don't shave your legs. And it's just like, well, at some point, I do need to be a woman, Mom. You shave your legs.
You were 6.
I wasn't allowed to shave my legs until I just did it on my own, like smoking cigarettes. Like it was like something I had to do secretly.
Yeah, me
Because my
too.
parents, what? They just don't want you to
My
grow up.
parents shamed me, and we cried. There was a huge thing in the living room of me sobbing.
When
Yep,
you
me
shaved your
too.
legs for
Yeah,
the
I
first
was
time?
11 or 12. 11 or 12. I was in 7th grade. And I think I was 11 because I graduated early because I was super smart. But I remember my dad goes, "Why are your legs like that?" And I go, "I shaved them." And he goes, "Why?" And then my mom goes, "No, this country ruins my daughter. Why?
Yep.
They sexualize young girls." And then my dad goes, "Do you want to sleep with boys?" I mean, I was 11.
Yeah.
I was like, "What? Why?"
It has nothing to do with that. It's just about being a woman. It's like
My mom's
growing
like,
up.
"These young sluts influencing you." It's
my
like,
God.
what
Do
is
Russian
a slut?
women grow their leg hair?
I guess they don't shave.
Or not till a
Does your
long
mom not
time?
shave?
She never shaved her legs. No, she hardly has any hair
It's
on
very
them now.
cold there. I'm just saying, it does
Yeah,
help
it
with
does.
But
the...
if you're listening and
It's
you're a
like
mother,
in
will
the-
you just lay off the leg thing? Like, why do we each have traumatizing stories about shaving
Yeah,
our legs
it's
where our
bullshit.
parents freaked out? Who cares?
And why do boys know that girls should have shaved legs at all?
Because
Early on. I'm just-
everything you jerk off to has a shaved leg.
No,
And
no,
so
no.
hair
I
on
know.
legs
I'm
looks
saying.
so foreign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and why do we have to shave our legs? It's such bullshit.
Yes.
It's like, it almost makes you feel like you were born, like we're born flawed. Like we were born with hair. Like everything about you as a woman that you're born with, just take it away because it's not how you're supposed to look. It's like,
Right.
but why was I born with it then? Why do I have hair on my ass?
That was my mom's
Why do you have
point.
armpit hair? Why
Yeah.
do you have... Yeah.
Maybe it's sexy. If we weren't
But then
growing
why
up under a patriarchal eye, we probably would be like, check out my ass. I mean, look at these young girls growing up now. They're growing out their armpit hair and it's hot. Like this pop star I love, King Princess.
But she's already
She's-
hot.
But Andrew is literally disgusted by armpit hair. Like it
Or a
or
happy
ankle
trail.
hair on a woman.
Happy trail.
Like a woman's like trail, like
Right.
on
I'm
her
getting
stomach.
better with it. I really am.
But what does it say to you about a woman if she
I
has
just think
that?
I grew up in Florida and everyone's hairless. Guys, girls, animals, everything.
Yeah.
You're just
Cats.
you get waxed right away. You
The
come
cat-
out of the womb and you have
Yeah.
get waxed with a barbed wire tattoo on your neck. Like that's what you do.
It's so
So-
expensive. Women spend so much money and time. I mean, it's just not
The only thing
fair.
I can compare it to is guys get when we get back hair and it's just like ugh, like society's just like ooh back.
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
I
And then
like it.
I like
the
back
guy
hair,
I'm
too.
dating has a little of that, and I like it.
a little
I
of it.
love a hairy
Oh,
guy.
you mean like if it's a full
Yeah.
thing? Guys are. I remember talking to. I shouldn't say his name. Well, who cares? Ari Shafir. He was all like self-conscious about having this back hair. I'm sure he's talked about it on his podcast. This was years ago, and he was going
He's
to get
shirtless like 90% of his
Yeah.
life too. So.
Yeah, so who cares? But I was like, what? It was like 2 little patches, and he was going to get it lasered off. He hated
Women
it.
in New York seem to like body hair on men more than women in Florida, from what I gathered.
I have never minded body hair on a man. And
I love
I
it.
grew
I
up
think
not
it's
seeing
hot.
any. My dad literally is shirtless all the time and has no hair on his, not from like getting
Oh, yeah.
lasered. He just doesn't have hair anywhere. And so I wasn't, but hair on men I didn't grow up seeing it, but I've
I love
never
arm
been
hair.
unattracted to a
It's
man
so
because of hair.
sexy. I'm always like touching the forearm. I
Yeah.
love that.
I know.
Beard.
Men
Do you
just
feel
get to be-
sexier when you're hairless?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
Of course.
But then, I mean,
that's-
I wish I
the
could grow a
patriarchy.
bush out. I think that would be sexy too, but my bush grows in a weird way because I got laser years ago. So I don't even have a bush.
How does it grow weird?
It's just like
Sparse.
patchy and, it just looks like it looks like a 14-year-old boy who, it looks like if Michael J. Fox at 12 years old trying to grow out a beard. That's what it looks like. It's sad.
yeah. I'm going to the laser hair place soon to get my face, and I'm gonna probably do my whole body because I'm just like, yeah. I mean, who cares anymore?
If you can afford it, why not? But
Maybe-
then you'll be so cold in the winter.
Really?
What about little
Oh,
extensions?
my hair does not.
Yeah, get extensions.
For your
For my
pubes, yeah.
pubes.
Maybe like little baby ones.
I've never felt warm from my leg hair. That's not keeping me warm. It's not even that thick, or it's like, it's not dense.
That's
It
true.
just makes you itchy. That's all leg hair does, is like makes me itchier and my skin drier and look like bad. Yeah, it's just I got to get rid of it.
I remember when girls would shave their legs, they would only shave to like their thigh. Maybe because like if any higher would be like, oh, you're doing it for sex, and it'd make it look worse. Like I don't know. I remember as
do
a
that.
kid when,
I do that, but I don't have any real hair.
thigh hair.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It just gets a lot less hairy up there.
We're both blonde. But yeah, if you're darker haired,
Yeah.
and you have more
I have
hair.
chin hairs right now that are so long. I'm not joking you. I can watch me pull my skin. Like you can see my
You're gonna
chin.
get-
Chinny chin chin.
You'll see my whole chin move when I pull this. Hold on. Like look at the
yeah.
skin. And I'm not touching my skin.
You
It's
could
my
be
whole
your
chin.
own little Jeff Dunham there.
I would love to pull
I
that out.
Hey, let
if
me
you had
talk
a
for
tweezer,
you.
I would let you. It's so long, dude. It's so long.
Is it
These-
fun to have? It's
no,
kind of like
it's I'm
good
trying
luck.
to get it out, but
I
I do.
have this beauty mark right here, and I always have a couple of little hairs in it. I do this annoying thing. My sister hates it. Like, I'm always like fiddling with it. But yeah, like if I'm in a movie theater in private in the dark, and I just get to pull on my little.
I
hairs.
have a nose hair that comes out of my nose.
Yeah.
Like not like
Like the tip of
not
your
the
nose,
tip
yeah.
of my nose.
It makes you look
Yeah.
wiser.
Yeah, it's something.
But it springs
name 'em.
overnight, like like that song that you have about the cactus that blooms in the night.
Oh yeah, Queen of the Night.
Queen of the Night. Like it just a hair will just spring up. I don't even care though. It's fine. It just it's. But I definitely think that there's something. Listen up, ladies. There's something about, and this blew my mind, that the zits you get are not zits. They're hair follicles that are infected.
A model told you this?
Yeah, but she went to the hair center place yesterday and got her face. They were like, she
Wow.
was like, I have these blackheads, and she goes, those aren't blackheads. Those are
Ingrown hair.
ingrown hairs.
Oh my god.
It makes so much sense because as you get older, hairs spring up everywhere
Yeah.
that didn't when you were a kid, and I think that there's something to that, and I think I'm gonna actually like be able to change my skin by getting hairs lasered off. I'm also gonna change my mood by never coming again, and let's get to that because I talked about it on the show yesterday.
Bombshell
I didn't
Sure, wasn't
have an
it ingrown
orgasm. Yeah, I know, right?
in your clit.
But what if my clit was just an ingrown hair? It hurts so bad
Why
when
is
I
it
rub
so
it.
big?
It's outgrown.
Oh my god.
Can you get this lasered off? Didn't you once go to a clit doctor?
I went to that woman that injected my clit with like human
Done
growth
so
hormone.
much in your life.
Human growth hormone.
Whatever, she like she took out my blood and spun it in a thing and then put it back in my clit. Didn't change anything.
Vampire. Is that called a vampire
What was it
facial?
You guys were all friends with me when this happened.
I
We
know,
talked
but I
about
don't
it.
think.
And now we're not.
Yeah, no.
I mean, this happened like a year ago.
I know. I was just
like,
trying to
you never
refresh
told
my
me that
clitoris.
Yeah.
she spiraled your own blood or whatever.
Yeah, they do the same thing that they do for like athletes, where they spin their blood and then they put their blood back in.
The funniest part of
What's
this
it
is you
supposed to do,
couldn't
though?
look more bored when you're explaining this.
It was pedestrian. It felt so.
What's it supposed to do though?
It's supposed to like give you more feeling down
okay.
there and like make you more.
So as someone that doesn't want to come, you wouldn't want that procedure.
No, because it's not about coming. It's just about feeling. Like I still want to like feel everything up until I come. Like that's the
Okay.
thing. It's like we have to be more clear about this not coming thing. It's not about not having pleasure. It's
Right.
about having so much pleasure extended, but you just never have the crescendo that leads to you having depression. So, I hadn't come for like a month or two, and then the like last week, I guess what day was it? I think it was like Saturday. I was like feeling it, and I don't know, like when you don't come for a month, you start getting turned on. Like I always listen to ASMR and to go to sleep, and like just like soothing women talking. And it just started getting pornographic for me. Like I would just close my eyes and like this woman whispering about her day would suddenly, she's like getting something in the ass. Like my mind would, and I'd start getting turned on. And then I was just like, I'm just going to grab a thing and go watch a thing. And I was like,
What's up?
Did you mean to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Don't do it again.
I just knew
don't
it was
do it again.
I knew it was a perfect time for it.
Oh man, it's like the perfect and the worst way. I don't want to hear any from Andrew Collins. It does the opposite of what that clit shot did to me. That is like, it drives me up so fast. Oh my God.
But that's what you want.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I know. I'm playing.
It's not what I want. I like being turned on all the time.
Yeah.
And so I masturbated with my Satisfier, which is the womanizer that I got sent. It's like it's the thing that sucks your clit. Hooked that thing up, and because you have to like find your clit and like strategically put it over it. It's not like you just don't like put it down there and wait. Like you have to like find your clit, put the circle over your clit, and then I was doing it, and I hadn't even since not coming. I hadn't even masturbated because why would I? I hadn't really even felt the need to. I was like, I kind of had a wet dream on a plane where I came in my sleep. I came in my sleep a couple different, not even came, but like had really satisfying sexual feelings that I didn't feel the need to masturbate. But this time I was just like, I really want to. And then I started coming, and I was just like, just like let it go a little bit longer. Like you can come on, have a little bit more. It was like Elena talking about eating that cake and just slicing little slices
the pizza.
until the cakes the pizza until the pizza's completely gone, but you just eat little tiny. And I was like, let me just have a little bit more slicey, just a little slice. And part of me, like the best part about orgasming for me is I watch all these videos where girls aren't allowed to come until the guy tells them they can. So the whole time I'm fighting an orgasm, like my body fights one the entire time. Until like I can't fight it anymore. So like I never am just like, oh, it's coming, yay, I can't wait. It's like, no, you're not allowed to have it. You're not. So I'm already, this whole thing of like not coming, it already fits with what I'm doing anyway.
Right.
And then I just did, and I was like, you know what, it'll be fine. Like I needed it.
How was it?
Amazing.
Okay.
I mean, it was a great. Right afterwards, I tried to do it again because I was like, listen, you already did it. Let's have another piece of pizza.
Right.
Like, let's just keep eating.
It's 2 for 1.
And I couldn't get there because I was so sad instantly after I came. Like, and this had been a month of not coming, and I was just like, I felt exhausted. I felt depleted. I felt like, just like a lack of joie de vivre. Like, I just felt...
That's French, Andrew.
I
And-
milk for the weave.
What?
Weave.
Keep
Je
going.
m'appelle Andrew. Je suis de Florida. Comment t'appelles-tu?
Oh.
You said I am Florida.
I am. I am legend. I am Queens Boulevard.
I am
Should I keep
Florida
going?
would be such a good name for a special.
Oh
for
my
you.
God, please.
That is
That's
really good, actually.
Can you do it in French?
Je
Like
suis
subtitles?
Florida.
But no one in Florida would know what it
She's
means.
having Je suis Florida. Please.
Je suis de Florida et comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Andrew. It's mon
It just descends into
Keep
kissing.
speaking French. I want to just hear you.
I know.
Do Spanish. Speak Spanish. Tell us a little bit about
French.
yourself.
Me llamo Andrés. Yo vivo en Florida. ¿Y cómo estás? Queso esta biblioteca está muy manos, dedos y la boca y la lengua y los ojos y nariz y orejas.
Tell us what
Uno,
you do
dos,
for a living.
tres, cuatro, cinco.
Can I translate that?
Oh, I know what he said. He's pointing
But
to
some
his
of the
face.
listeners might not.
Nose, ears, eyes. I'm
Sí, yes.
Andrew.
Piernas y
These are my
Library.
hands. No, I think he just said hands,
hands,
fingers.
fingers, yes.
Library.
Eyes. Library.
Nariz,
Bathroom.
nose,
Nose.
baños.
Bathrooms.
Mi español es no muy well. Es,
No muy well.
mal.
Oh.
Y así, como si, como ça.
French.
Well, that's French.
Sí.
Okay.
Mucho gusto.
Me llamo Bradley.
Me llamo.
That's the
Start
only Spanish I
singing
know is the Sublime song.
I have a song where I just do French in the middle of it, and I wanted to have it be bad on purpose, and I never Googled what I was actually saying. And then later on, I found out that I was saying, do you want a banana? Do you want a big banana? Then it says, or no, it says, I would like a banana. I would like 2 bananas, but I meant to say, would you like a banana? Would you like, but instead I'm just asking, I would like a banana.
I would like a bigger banana.
Well, how do you say it? Anana.
I say, je voudrais une banane. Je voudrais 2 bananes.
Oh my gosh, that
I
is
think
hot,
it's
dude.
banana is not French. It's anana.
Oh, oops.
I'm
All these
almost
years-
positive. Hold on. Let me look up French banana.
Bananas.
Yes.
And not even, it's even worse in French. Anana, banana. Oh, no. You're right. Banana. What am I thinking?
Je voudrais une banane. Je voudrais
Ananas.
2
What's her name?
bananes.
Edith Piaf or whatever.
Piaf.
Oh man, she turns me on when she
Yeah.
sings.
La vie en rose.
Pineapple is anana. Okay, never mind.
Oh, in
Ananas.
Russian, it's ananas.
Ananas.
And
That's
in
what
Spanish,
it is, but
it's banana.
bananarama.
Just do more French.
I mean, look at French for pineapple. If you write it in French for pineapple, the pineapple that comes up, like it's the most French-looking pineapple.
Why is it
it's a
smoky?
Muppet
I don't understand why this is a French pineapple.
because it has
Je
eyelashes.
suis un ananas. I mean, look at this French pineapple. Hold on.
That's amazing.
Like that is the most French. We're gonna post it on UPSXM on Twitter. Hold on, let me get a picture of this one. This one is the funniest one. Why is that that is the most French pineapple?
It has
It's
eyes.
like an
can't wait for
older
you guys to
woman
see it.
French.
It's
It looks
like-
like an older French lady.
It has
Yeah.
a scarf.
There must be
and
some
lipstick.
like puppet that is like a famous French pineapple. It looks like it has a talk show in Paris. God, French people are so weird.
That's the #1 stand-up in after Gad.
Yeah.
Gad Elmaleh.
Gad Pineapple Day.
Ananas.
He fucked her.
What language
Yeah.
did you? Yeah, of course.
Okay, so then let me just tell
Oh.
you. So I came on Saturday. I was a little bit down, but then I went out and did shows and I was fine, whatever. And then Sunday, bad. Like not feeling good at all. Woke up just depressed.
This is in
out of
Vermont or
nowhere.
is this a week before?
This is a week before.
Oh.
Woke up depressed. This was in New York. And just like low, not feeling good. This was when you were in your silent retreat. So I didn't have you to reach out to, but I was just like, ugh. And then I was like, I need to have another orgasm because I need to feel good again. So what I did was I treated my depression caused by an orgasm with another orgasm. And then Monday was the worst. I was so depressed. I went and did my regular routine, but I was like I went on Comments by Celebs, that podcast. Go listen to that podcast and you'll hear how depressed I was. I could not get it together for this podcast. I went to a group thing before that to like talk through my feelings. And then I went to the podcast and it was supposed to be one about celebrities, and we're talking about they have all these topics. We didn't get to any of it. They had to do a separate podcast because I talked about hating myself so much, and I woke up feeling like, oh, you know what we got started on? We were talking about Liam Hemsworth and his new girlfriend that he was spotted that weekend in New York City around my neighborhood, like walking with this girl hand in hand and like cuddling with her on the sidewalk and like just public displays of affection for this young, beautiful girl. And I'm like, and we were supposed to be just like talking about that and be like, oh my God, he's out with a new lady. She's like, and all I could be like is like, why does no one want to do that with me? Why does she get that? Why do I look at all these girls who are always canoodling on street corners with famous guys and they kiss their foreheads gently and they're just like snuggled up together. I see it all the time. Why has no one ever wanted to do that with me? And I went in this fucking spiral and I could get there right now if I wanted to, but I'm not so sad today. I'm
Right.
a little bit sad today. I'm like a 4, but this day I was like, I'm not good today, by the way. Like I'm a 4 and yesterday I was a 1. Like I was great, happy. Today I'm a 4. This day I was a fucking 10. And I just was like, I listened to myself later on.
10 being bad.
10 being bad. Like I was just like, I almost started crying because I was just like, it will never happen to me that I will have a guy like treat me like that on a sidewalk, like a hot guy who's like is big and cherishing me. And like, they did the cute thing where she stands on the curb and he's in the dip of the curb so that they're like
You've
the
been
same
talking
height.
about that for
It's so cute, and it's all I've ever wanted is to be snapped by the paparazzi with a guy
Why
being
are the
gentle to me.
paparazzi part of this
because I want,
fantasy?
or like even you, like I want a friend. That
I'll
one
do it to
picture that
you.
you took of me and Chris on the couch,
Yes.
where he is being affectionate with me and we're having a moment of affection, is my most cherished picture because it proved to me that someone like loved me once and that I wasn't trying to put on a display. It wasn't for the cameras. It was just a moment of compassion between two people that love each other. And it was like, oh, it proved that a guy loved me. Even though in that picture, I'm literally hovering over him, trying to get him to kiss me. But it is a sweet picture. But you took it. It was a candid picture. And that's all I've ever wanted in life is someone. And it's not about being famous. I just say paparazzi because friends don't take candid pictures of you ever. Every picture is just you smiling with your arms around each other.
Nothing's better than a candid
pictures
photo.
are the best. That's all I want is to see some like a sweet moment between me and my boyfriend captured candidly. That's all I've ever wanted.
Me too.
Don't get it
Please
ever.
take note.
I will when I'm around you guys. I will.
And I will too.
Thank you. So then I'm talking about the Blake Griffin roast, and we were talking about that, and that's how I knew I was depressed because I listened to a clip later on, and I was like, I don't even recognize that I said that because it was such a dark thought. But I was like. Then he got on stage and I said all these jokes about wanting to fuck Blake Griffin, and then he got on stage and said all these jokes about how he would never fuck me. And I said, which was actually gratifying to hear because it's what I know and it's what I've always thought. And it's nice that I now have that to show of like, yeah, I knew it all along. Like it's finally all the stuff I say to my friends about how I'm so ugly and like not as hot as these guys that I think that I can get, and like I truly don't deserve them because honestly I'm really like I'm starting to feel it now by just doing these talks, and I'm at a 4, so I'm pushing myself into a 6. So I'm not going to go there, but like I just heard depression in my voice that day, and I really attribute it to coming the day before and the day before that. Like I don't know what else changed. Nothing else in my eating habits, nothing else in I wasn't smoking more pot or less pot, or like my period wasn't about to start. It was just coming. And that's why I'm not coming anymore. Because I don't want to feel that sad anymore. But then Noah's run the data. You came this past, like you've come and not come. What's been some more of your exploration with that?
Very similar to you when I would have an orgasm from masturbating. I did have orgasms last week, but it's because I was with my boyfriend 24/7 for exactly 7 days. So I was like, okay, at least we're like bonding while we're doing this. But I can completely relate.
Yeah. Anya?
Oh.
I was distracted by Dan Rather, who I masturbate over a lot.
Yeah.
And I came to while I was at the silent retreat. Just his Facebook posts. Yes and no. I've had mixed results. I haven't conducted a lot of data, but I find this very interesting that you're doing these field reports on yourself and kind of keeping track.
Yeah, like what is going on that's making me go down this? Because for me, depression is like because that's why I was interested in what Gary's voice is telling him. Is he like telling him he's not hot and that no one wants to fuck him and that he's getting uglier every day and that age is a thing that you can't escape? So what's the point in trying to escape it? Yet you try to escape it because everyone around you is trying to escape it. So you have to like stay as beautiful as everyone else. And really you're just deep. Like that's what my voice tells me. And the truth of the matter is it's kind of true. That's what I'm struggling with is like when you age, you get uglier. It's sorry. You like I know there's exceptions. I'm gonna be pretty for another decade or so and still viably sexual, but like 2 decades down the road, I'm not gonna be fuckable anymore. If I don't find someone to love me, it will not happen after that, and then I just start freaking out.
Right. One of my favorite spiritual people is Byron Katie. She's great, and she says she had this nervous breakdown when she was like 45 or something and ended up in an eating disorder hospital because nobody else would take her, but she kind of lost her mind. And she had an out-of-body experience or like an enlightened experience at this rehab center where a cockroach crawled over her foot and she like woke up and just all of a sudden, after years of crippling depression, being in bed, smoking in bed, ignoring her children, just being an absolute horrible kind of, I don't know if she was a horrible person, but no one in her family liked her. She just overnight woke up and was like, the cockroach is me. I am the cockroach. I am the wall. I am the floor. I am the mirror. Like couldn't be in her body anymore. She just felt this awareness of everything.
She had an awakening.
Yeah. And snapped out of it. And then she said, slowly from there, she started to realize, this is her quote, once I realized that when I believe my thoughts, I suffer. And when I don't believe my thoughts, I don't suffer. And that was a life-changing thing that came out of her enlightenment. That's helped me so much. I love her books. Highly recommend Byron Katie. But she talks about that like these voices in your head, they just are, they're intent to make you suffer, and it's a never-ending, infinite amount of thoughts. So you can follow the logic forever, but it will never make you happier. It'll always cause you to suffer. Even though your mind is a genius thing, it's helping you do your radio show and your comedy, and it has all these wonderful things about it, but it is intent on driving you crazy too and making you depressed and miserable. So when you don't believe your thoughts and you just kind of go, okay, thanks for sharing.
But my thoughts are also what gets me to go, like, I just don't understand. If we all just were like, accept who you are and not read your thoughts, then none of us would wear makeup. None of us would get fit. Like, I can't. I'm exhausted by trying to be more pretty.
That's wonderful.
What do you mean?
That you're at that point where you're exhausted by trying to be pretty. What a great place to be.
No, because I can't stop. I can't stop because no one will love me if I don't keep this up.
That's a thought that you're believing.
Yeah.
And you're suffering because you're believing that thought.
But then why does anyone do anything to their looks ever? If we're all just beautiful on the inside and everything's fine, like why does anyone get a facial? Why does anyone wear makeup? Why does anyone get their hair done? Like,
maybe that's none of your business.
What do you mean?
What other people are doing, why is that your business?
But it just means like we live according to how other people live. Like, I'm not going to go run through the halls naked because no one else is. And so you kind of fall into place with how other people live.
So you have to do what other people do.
I mean, you don't have to, but why do they find happiness in doing all of these things and I'm tortured by it?
You know that other people are happy.
Well, yeah, the people whose lives I want, who are really like you, I would like your life, and you do upkeep on yourself to stay looking good. And
why is my life your business?
I mean, because
I'm only playing her. That's what
yes,
I'm playing devil's
that,
advocate. Her whole thing is like, there's my business, there's your business, and then she calls it, then there's God's business. I'm saying that in quotes.
But even
like,
reading about this woman and wanting to reach an enlightenment where my thoughts don't matter, that's still me wanting a thing that she's achieved that I'm like, oh, I'd like to have that. So none of this. So then I'm just, and if none of this is my business, then I'll never learn how to think a different way, because the way she's thinking is kind of like a new facial I've heard about. Like, oh, I want to try that thinking.
You don't have to do any of this.
I know, but otherwise I'll kill myself because I don't have a means of dealing with my thoughts, and they will ruin me if I don't seek help in other ways.
You want to get to the truth. So she has this thing called, it's like an inquiry. It's called The Work, and it's just 4 questions. Like, is this thought that I'm believing true? How can I know it's true? Who am I when I believe this thought? And then who would I be without this thought? So like, do I know it's true that all of these people are happy? Like Jennifer Aniston is happy, and she wears makeup. So if I want to be happy like Jennifer Aniston, I have to wear makeup.
Right.
Or whatever you're talking about. Like I have to get laser facials and all this hair removal.
Yeah.
Do I know that that's true, that she's happy because she's doing all these things? Do I absolutely empirically know that that's true?
Right. No, I don't.
Who am I when I believe this thought?
But let's say I like something I hate about myself. My eyes are sagging. Okay, let's say that.
Okay.
It is empirically true. I know it's true because I can look at pictures of myself younger, and I can look at pictures now.
Okay.
And my eyes look old and tired. And I am tired, so it's true.
Okay.
What's the
Who
third
am
question?
I when I believe this thought? But she would say, close your eyes and
Close
meditate.
your sad, tired eyes.
Close your sad, tired, old eyes.
Yeah.
And meditate and really get to a very true, quiet place and think, is it true that my eyes are sagging and they're old? Like
Yes.
really when you're quiet and still.
Yes.
Okay. Who am I when I believe this thought?
just resigned to the fact that I'm getting older, and like it just is who I am.
So I'm resigned.
35. I'm resigned to being 35 and overworked and
I'm
having
resigned.
sinus issues that gives me bags under my eyes, and someone who doesn't have the time to get whatever injections would make it go away, or I'm a little too scared to do it, or they're just not going to work on me like they do other people, and I'm just not ever going to have the eyes that I want.
I'm an unhappy, unsatisfied, resigned woman.
Yes.
Okay, who would I be without this thought that I have old eyes?
Well, I'd be delusional because I do, and walking through life thinking that you don't.
Okay, I'd be
makes you
delusional.
I'd be delusional, and I'd be someone that people talk about behind their back, like she thinks she's hot and she's
No,
not.
who would I be?
I'd be someone who people talk about behind
How
my
would I
back.
feel?
I would
How would
feel.
I walk through the world if I didn't believe the thought that my eyes are old?
Okay, I
If
would
I
feel
truly
happy. I would probably feel happy, but then I don't want to be blissfully ignorant.
You're not answering the question. Just stick with the question. If I didn't believe this thought that I have old, tired eyes, who would I be if I really didn't believe that? If I was just like, my eyes are great. If I truly believed it.
Okay, I guess I would be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Free, maybe?
Yeah. But
What would you be doing and talking about and thinking about?
probably anything else.
Yes.
Yeah. But then I go and hang out with my friends, and they all talk about their problems,
Okay.
and then I can't, and then they all have good looking eyes, and they all like have done things for their eyes, and so then I start thinking about eyes again. So like I can't get away from it.
It is hard.
I can't get away from feeling not good enough.
This sounds complicated and you're in a dark place right now, but when you hit a bottom with this stuff and you want change, then the voice that's really loud right now, which is your mind, it's like driving the Nikki Glaser car right now. It's like a mean guy driving, or a mean girl driving the car, because I can't really get in there, which I get it. I'm there too a lot.
Yeah, I got the doors locked.
Yeah, you're not wanting to make change, or you just
because I feel like I'm right. Which
but
is
like an 80-year-old woman would be like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? My